We start into the Winnerbracket Semifinal, a best of 5 between Foggy and HaWK. Whoever wins here goes into the Final Four. That is $200 guaranteed, pretty much doubling the attendance fee of 100 that the players are getting here. And it's a match of European juggernauts, and I forgot to re-enable the Reforged graphics. I'm very sorry, HeroesHearth. That was not on purpose. I knew it would happen when I lettered this afternoon. So game 1 on classic graphics. I think the fan base will not be too opposed to that. We have the best human in Europe, that is HaWK from Russia, versus the best Night Elf in Europe, that is Foggy. Let them games begin.
And thank you also to our first supporters today, Serbian Jogs with the 18 months, Snowing with 9 months. Looking forward to enjoy your awesome cast today. Go Hoggy. That's the perfect timing of a sub by Snowing, because it's snowing like crazy today. I woke up and was feeling cold inside, no heat on, and I looked outside and was actually snowing. The first time this whole winter I thought global warming would spare us of this, but once it's gonna work out. Thank you also to Ena for the 19 months. Lul Neo Flaming Now too. Remo, love you, Ena. As always, a wonderful message there. Thank you very much. So, let's get into the game. What do we have? What we expect nowadays to see from the Night Elf side is the Warden. Wherever she is playable, she has manifested herself as the savior of the Night Elf race, and Warden also is the pick here by Foggy on Amazonia. It is pretty much standard nowadays. Honestly, it's only concealed where we don't see the Warden, and Foggy, we have always known, is a very strong Warden player. For HaWK, it's looking standard as well as always, starting off with an AM and a normal build. Question is, what is he gonna go for, expansion or one base tech?
That is indeed the question. Ah, there's my sound. I was wondering for a second where that was. And what's the creep route going to be? How aggressive is the Warden going to be? I think on Amazonia, we don't see too much fan of knives, right? It's oftentimes Shadow Strike first.
Yes.
Why is that?
Fan of Knives is most effective when you can use it against peasants and in really high numbers. That's mostly for 2-base scenarios. So more units, Fan of Knives better. That's more likely with 2-base with lots of income. Also on 2-base, you can heavily creep and rely on high-level Warden, but AZ, it's most of the time 1 base versus 1 base, where it's really hard to find level 4 quickly, and the armies are going to be rather small, plus the human will want to pressure normally against the Warden, and do so with a small army. In those small army scenarios, normally the Shadow Strike is the preferred option to go for. In the past, especially the Koreans went for Fan plus Shadow Strike, but I've seen plenty of Shadow Strike plus Blink nowadays to chase down and look for more and more kills.
HaWK steals the Shadow Priest! That was a nice scout by this footman, seeing that there's an archer and a wisp to draw out the creeps. Yes, the Warden greets him with a Shadow Strike right now. The experience goes to the creeps though, and Foggy did not get the mercenary he wanted.
Okay, that's the mercenary denied. That's more water elementals, threat on the map, but it was pretty expensive. He lost the footy and the Shadow Priest. That's, how much is that? About 350 gold, a little less. That's pretty expensive. At least HaWK did a good job in denying the experience. The Shadow Priest to the creeps and the footy to the AM. But still, this was not cheap. Once again, we're racing towards level 3, both trying to get there. The AM is taking quite a bit of hits here from the Warden. Of course, the AM cannot be trading hits. He has to run away. Whereas the Warden will gladly do so, of course, with the backup of the Moonwells.
There's no shop, there's no boots, there's no staff. But there's at least some creeping going on. The footman carried this Archmage closer to level 3, but will he go to the grave on level 2? Warden out of mana now. We have another Wisp killed, I guess. And this Archmage survives. Footman block a little. Oh no, I'm doing the DreamHack Observer catchphrase. Exactly, clicked on that frog. But okay.
Oh wow, the first couple of donations. Oh my god, today coming in. For Glory Heaven, once again, 10 euros from him. We have Star Nation with the 10 euros as well, saying, appreciation for DreamHack and all the other lovely things you do for the scene. Keep it up, greetings from Nuremberg. And Povratnik Serber with a 5 euros. Yay, classic graphics all the way. Also, thank you to HitTrain2 for the sub and have Woozle with the 32. So let's see what's continuing to happen here on the map. The Warden is back with full mana. This is scary, especially as the AM is low HP. He has level 3, yes, but HP is looking pretty low. Shadow Priest is spelling a little bit. Should be a bit more mana for the Warden. But he's still being kept away from level 3. This is a stressful game so far for HaWK, but I think he's holding on quite well.
I agree. I mean, what Foggy needs level 3 at some point, and he's not even close at the moment. Level 2.6, and I wonder what the second hero is. Did HaWK reach tier 2 yet? No, but could definitely be a Blood Mage. And then with a level 2 Warden against Siphon Mana, what do you do?
Well, we saw that from Moon. Just somehow find openings, somehow, you know, don't die and somehow win. Of course, you know, it's hard to do. But it is possible. My next question is Foggy. Is he going to be going for a second hero? Some Night Elves like to, others don't. Others want to rely on the Warden solo. The Naga second has been seeing quite some popularity along with the Warden. Dude, HaWK is playing so well, coming in here in the middle once again, trying to pressure, trying to delay level 3 a little bit more. But this time the Warden gets it. However, mana is really low, so she's going to get one more. I think this was the 5th deny by HaWK this game. Insane deny skills by the Russian.
Yeah. He showed that last year already at WCG. And since then, we didn't mention it too many times, but he is definitely aware, same as TH and Infi, how important this is, especially against the Warden, where every single point of experience counts. Warden got up to level 3. HaWK couldn't deny that anymore, but the Engine of Warfare creeping is down. Warden goes into the middle. This is a Tinker second?
I think it's too early for the Tinker. Normally you want to go Tinker either when you have level 5 Warden, or at least when you have a strong army and creep options available to yourself. Neither of which is the case at the moment.
That's a Mount King here.
Yeah.
I 100% expected a Blood Mage.
He's pretty good for pressuring the Warden. I think especially against the Shadow Strike, he's pretty good. Because normally Warden wants to go in, Shadow Strike a target, and then right-click it down. But with the Stormbolt, you can apply some counter pressure and also reduce the damage that's coming in. Both very strong late-game options, Blood Mage and MK. But of course, work very differently. Clap can be very strong here in the late game should we go into Bears and Mountain Giants. But we talked about this a little bit yesterday. May just be Stormbolt and Bash instead.
Yeah, feels like Foggy did totally expect this typical Asian Blood Mage tower push, as there's an Ancient Protector in the base, everything is pretty much walled off. So he got ready for that. This means he spent resources on things he doesn't need. This means he's not as strong as the Night Elf used to be at this timing, so Bears are delayed. But what the Night Elf still can do, and what Moon showed us as well, is Zeppelin drops. This is so Moon-inspired.
Yes.
It's copycat Foggy again.
I was about to say the same thing. You can really tell he was studying those replays or VODs hard. This is pretty much exactly how Moon played against HaWK at DreamHack.
Alright, let's see how it does and what HaWK learned from that. He was defeated by Moon after a crazy game on AZ, which he wasn't supposed to lose. Okay, call to arms used. And now, will he park a rifleman this time?
Yeah, and I still wonder, I don't know, I asked Thorzane as well, and he didn't have a clear answer either. What is the best way to deal with the Zeppelin harass? To deal with this constant run-by harass? How do you shut it down the best? And we were talking about this as well, Thorzane and I. How about a workshop? How about an early gyro?
That's the
HaWK
answer.
is going to go for that, but that's pretty expensive.
It is, especially in the DreamHack game. I think HaWK had plenty of time to do it, since Moon dropped on him for 10 minutes, 12 minutes. But alright, here the reaction is a lot faster, but also very expensive. Second Peasant already down, or Warden blinking away from the Stormbolt. Both players are playing really well so far.
So HaWK is getting up, this workshop is getting the gyro, but it's all costing a lot of lumber. He lost lumber peasants already earlier, this costs more lumber to create, and now look at HaWK's secondary resource, the lumber. It's really low, but HaWK goes for a shredder. I like that. If he doesn't go for the shredder, there's no way he's gonna have any transition to either tier 3 or a second base.
And also parking the rifleman in the back. Yes, this slows down creeping, but with Water Elemental and Heroes, this should be fine. I'm curious what Foggy is doing. He was parking 3 bears in the main. Master training is done, so HaWK doesn't see them coming. He should be aware that there is tier 3, otherwise there would be a lot more dryads. But does he have the right read? We see that he learned a lot from DreamHack, and he applies changes really well and on the fly. But can he go all the way?
The nice thing about having the gyro here is, of course, it covers the Zeppelin option, but it also is really, really good for scouting. Extremely fast and extremely large vision range. So with that, HaWK knows exactly what's going on. But how's he gonna react?
Water teams is a reaction. He can also go for Blizzard. Does he have Clap? No, it's once again Stormbolt and Bash.
Why no Clap? Why?
Human,
It's mass bears already.
human are not, like... They don't think they have enough mana. They're not convinced.
But he's got Robe and he's got Ward of Mana Steal. I mean, of course, he made that decision on level 2 before he had all those items. Oh man, I can't help but feel that this is an oversight by the humans.
Warden using the Tomb of Retraining. This is now Pen of Knives and Blink. No Shadow Strike anymore. With that, the Archmage is a little more protected and the Rune Braces can be sold on the Mountain King. Levels in general for HaWK are okay, but he definitely needs level 4 Archmage. Warden closing in on 5. Mountain Giant transition by Foggy, who, by the way, defeated Happy yesterday in the GGG's Cup in a best of 1 on this very map. And we thank you, Witty, for almost 500 viewers that he hosts. Thank you very much.
And Topiclon, thank you for the gifted sub. The Warden in the main, looking for more experience, looking for level 5. She should be getting it. Yes, she will. And now Staff's back home to help against this push. One bear on the front line, very quickly dying. That's level 4 for the AM. One more kill for level 4 MK as well. Then he could have the level 2 clap, but okay, so it get hung up on that too much. The Warden getting storm bolted over and over. She's feeling the pressure here from these storm balls, but also the counter damage coming in from the fans. So much DPS. We have the first heal scroll invested already. And what's the only one for HaWK? So this is a little scary right now. May have to transfer the TP, but he doesn't. He should have seen that one coming a mile away. GG, HaWK tabs out. And Foggy gets the victory in a very convincing looking game.
That was a quick ending to a game that I thought had just started. I thought, okay, we have the level 5 Warden now, we get the Mountain Giant transition, then it's gonna be this tug of war thing. As HaWK was seemingly ready, but he wasn't. Not for this push, not at all.
Yeah, I think HaWK's
for his own
was,
push.
Yeah, I think his idea was, let's push before the Warden gets level 5. Let's force her into engagement on level 4, which is going to be a bad engagement for him. But it didn't quite work out timing-wise. Warden once again going into the main. Foggy has become really good at going for these counterattacks. Inspired by Moon, of course. Moon did this not only against human, but also against Night Elf. And this might be the biggest lesson in 1.30. No, wait, what are we? 1.32 for Night Elves, you know? If you go head-to-head in the big engagements and just let them do whatever you want, you may have a bad time. But how about you just play a different game? How about you play the counterattack game? This seems to be the new meta, kind of, against human and against orc.
Yeah. This was pretty damn good. Foggy taking map number 1 here. And second map is already hosted. As we said, it's going to be Echo Isles, the picks and bans for you once again.
And Zopiclon, thank you for another 2 gifted subs.
Oh,
very generous.
Thank you. So, 1-0 for the Ukrainian. HaWK goes on his first map choice, which is Echo Isles. He has then Terraner Stand left, Northern Isles, and Concealed Hill for Foggy. Which sounds a little counterintuitive. But okay. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, this used to be considered a very good Warden map, but this was kind of a long time ago. This was back when Ancient of War was still stronger. Normally we see this map much anymore nowadays, honestly, but here in a best of 5, we do see it return. So I wonder what we're gonna be seeing getting played here. Is it gonna be a Warden? Or is that too dangerous?
Why should that be dangerous? Well, it's one of the classic Warden maps.
It is, but it does require an Ancient of War creep over at the Merc camp to really get her going. And if the human decides to pressure that heavily, either with Footy plus Shadow Priest stolen down there, or if you're feeling really aggressive with a Tinker Tower push, that can be super scary.
We
haven't seen that in a while.
Exactly.
But it is always an option.
Little throwback to WCG 2013 when Moon was destroyed by TH with exactly that, the Tinker Tower push. So, map number 2, the lead for Foggy, who's spawning in the upper left-hand side of Echo Isles. HaWK in the upper right. Can the Russian tie this up, or will Foggy run away with a 2-0 lead?
Taking a look at building positioning early on in this matchup tells us quite a bit already, especially the Ancient of War. And as we can see, it's at the green camp. Foggy is not going towards the Merc, deems that to be too risky, deems that to be too punishable by the human. Something, yeah, that I think we've been seeing more and more, especially on this map. So, slow creeping early on. This is definitely not looking like a Warden start here for Foggy. And for HaWK, we have the altar pointing south, which normally means either Merc camp creep or natural to start with, also slightly unusual, where normally we expect humans to go to the green first.
Right, hero picks now, Mountain King first, and Warden it is. Nice read by HaWK to go for the little dwarf here. I kind of expected this. Yeah, we don't see the Merc camp creep too often anymore, but you can still get level 2 from green, and then pick up the game from there. There was pretty much the same situation on Amazonia, where you get level 2 for free, and then harass and try to get experience while moving the Engine of War somewhere, maybe.
That is absolutely doable, but it takes a lot longer than on AZ. On AZ, you get level 2 instantly, and then can look for pressure and kills right away. If Foggy creeps level 2 before being aggressive, this could be the MK creeping the Merc camp and the green fully, getting Mercs already, and getting ready to take the natural. So I'm really interested to see how Foggy makes this Warden work here. Normally, on maps like these, where you don't get a quick jumpstart in experience, we see 2 Ancients of War. And that is in fact the case for Foggy. In the south, second Ancient of War coming up. This could spell, or this could be interpreted as a double Huntress all-in play. Could also be for a counter expansion play.
That's really interesting now. What's he going for? For months, we haven't seen a successful hunt push. But then all of a sudden there was one yesterday. And it looked kind of strong if you have the right timing for it. So Foggy has to make it work. He is one of the bigger fans of this, like Lolliot, Remind. They will probably not go for it, but Moon, Foggy, we see them with that strat.
MK taking a lot of damage, down to less than 300 HP. That's... I don't know that that's exactly intentional, but there is a Shadow Priest, so he's going to be getting healed up a little bit over time.
A player's forces
Foggy. Is he going Hunter's All? If he is, this is going to be all in. But seems like he's not.
No.
Tree of Ages coming up. Getting ready for T2.
Okay. That's an unusual Echo Isle play. Which I think I haven't seen before. Double Engine of War into tech.
Yeah. I think I like it though. This looks at least like a very safe opening. You can play the Warden and you can't get punished too hard. You don't have to go all in if he expands. There's a transition available to you. But I wonder, wouldn't this be pretty bad against one base AM play who just rushes level 3 and then pressures you? Perhaps it is, but this is not the game that we're seeing here. is that it is the MK who always will be going for the fast expansion. The Warden is around, looking to be disruptive. No dust available yet for HaWK.
It's only Shadow Strike and Blink, so no Fan of Knives. Footman and Militia should be Wait a minute. It is Fan of Knives?
It is Fan of Knives, and he missed the last hit. So the MK secured it with a Stormbolt. Very well done by HaWK. Perfect threshold kill range there utilized. And now he's level 3, and now he's got the Expo coming up. And
a player's forces are under attack.
This harass certainly didn't work out too well for the Warden.
No, and also the multitasking. Maybe a couple of seconds off, as the Engine of War is only now starting it after a semi-successful harass. There's nothing even too hurt. He has one more Fan of Knives, but I think he should rather save the mana.
Yeah, and now the MK can go for the boots if he wants to. Doesn't have the gold actually, but he's still going over. This is problematic. HaWK didn't lose a single tree blast hit, didn't lose a single peasant yet, but now will... Oh my god, the saves by HaWK. Are you serious? Outstanding play by HaWK.
So the Warden can't move there. Would have to blink. What now? This is more time for the tower. Mountain King is coming over and is about to kill this Ancient of War. Foggy's in trouble. Seems like he has no idea what to do.
Yeah, this is just outstanding play by HaWK. Whew. He's gonna finally lose one peasant here, but that's totally fine. The Warden blinking away, staffing back, but this is gonna take a ton of Moon Juice now to recover from. Double Ancient of Lore coming up, but Ancient of War 1 is down. Or Ancient of War 2, I should say.
Yeah.
He is going to be able to get the level 3 in the middle unless HaWK comes there to harass. Oh my god, dude. The reads by HaWK this game.
Also so fast.
Unbelievable.
It seems like he knows Echo Isles inside out. It feels like Foggy is on autopilot. But HaWK knows exactly how he's programmed.
And HaWK is dependent of energy, which is also, of course, always great for the Mountain King.
Isn't that fascinating how we have never seen this build before or super rare, and HaWK knows every single step of that build inside out?
Yeah. I mean, he plays a lot of netties, and there's no vetoes going on, so perhaps he has seen this from Moon or someone else before. But yeah, exceptional play. Finally, Foggy finds an opening towards the Expo. A little bit of damage at least. MK is going to TP back, so that's kind of expensive. Woo. Last second Stormbolt dodge right there. Warden gets out. But there was, what, one peasant killed?
Mm-hmm.
It's a TP lost as well. Well, that's not too bad.
Okay, we have a Tree of Life coming for Foggy. This must be read by HaWK. And judging from his play in the early 7 minutes, I am 1,000,000% sure he's gonna find it. And look at that, like, this is so fast. This is so fast. 6 cents for Trees of Life.
This map by him is so well played. Jesus Christ. Well, I would love to see a second barracks right now. Go Rifles. I don't see the Warden holding that.
Oh, first he's going defend. Then Town Hall. There is a blacksmith, so we will definitely see Rifles. Question is how many and how fast.
A player's forces are under attack.
Only tier 2 here for Foggy. No tier 3 transition coming in yet. He does have the resources though to go for it. And is finally beginning level 2. But how long did that take? MK also, upon daytime, goes towards the middle, creeps that. And daytime is relevant here because he can go for a heal scroll now, which is a big deal. And will do so, right? Heal scroll, invul, yup. And now, this is only a tier 1 army, but it's pretty strong, especially backed up by this MK. Once again, looking to cancel the expansion. But he's finding Dryads instead, against which defend will be required.
Yeah, he got that ready. And he has a bit of piercing damage thanks to all the mercenaries. So, seems like HaWK is perfectly equipped for what's to come. But Foggy, unlike Amazonia, is going for the second hero, Hello Tinker.
Alright, the cluster rockets plus fan combo has been looking really strong recently. There we go, but the heal scroll is ready, waiting for the last second, and uses it. Well, right there does HaWK. Warden copying a bit of damage. MK now completely out of mana, and this is where perhaps Foggy can turn this around. Oh, Tinker finds himself in a surround, but has more cluster rockets to use. And this perhaps the first mistake by HaWK. Seems like this is turning quickly into an overextension.
He's overcommitting so hard. I mean, oh, there's the bash, but can't reach. Tinker gets out, and how many footmen did HaWK lose here? There's more to come. Dryads can just turn around. Mountain King is trying to follow with their boots. Another bash, but doesn't result in kills, and that's the problem.
Oh, you know what? You know, as much as I like bash, clap, against Dryads, bash is really good.
Do you know what I like? 4 engine protectors knocking on HaWK's door.
Rifle's gonna see it. How quickly is HaWK gonna react? How can he react?
There's a Blood Mage coming, could be Flame Strike.
Double Sanctum coming up in the south for HaWK. Seems like he wants to go into Breakers, I guess.
What a game.
These APs are still far away from the main. There is some time here for HaWK.
He has Nature's Blessing. Foggy not relying on only Dryads and only Warden, adding a lot more. Heal Scroll for the first hero as well. Invo Potion Staff on the Mountain King, but not using it.
Wants to heal up a little bit of mana from the shop first with the Clarity, and now coming in. And now the Siphon will aid him. But this is mostly Dryads and APs. Stormbolt doesn't do that much here. But the Molar team certainly will. Once they come out, the workshop is now finished. Oh, the Warden eats the Stormbolt, getting siphoned as well, dropping really low quickly. Has to use the cluster rockets to stop the Siphon, but it's only really the Blood Mage being affected. And now the Warden in deep trouble, doesn't have blink mana anymore, dropping lower still in the bash again, and she's almost dead. Stormbolt could force the TP at the very least. But the Warden will staff back to the main. It's instead the Tinker falling. And yeah, it's a couple of APs here, but no army to back him up.
Not falling yet, but there's the mighty hammer of the Mountain King. Rip Tinker. How to hold this? Militia coming in to take care of these trees.
What team? You can kill off the Wisps. I think you can do this one step after the next. Yep, GG.
Wow.
APs were all gonna fall. There was no saving them anymore. It was a desperate play by Foggy after a phenomenal early game by HaWK. Foggy felt forced to go all in there, but HaWK also ready for that. Great play by the Russian.
Absolutely. Like, what a cool game, going a little bit back and forth with HaWK being so good, then so many footmen lost that didn't look too great, but also wasted a lot of mana. And yeah, not having the necessary levels that hurt. And so on a historic Warden map, HaWK takes the 1-1.
Yeah, if he had lost that game, that would have been sad, because there was such an insanely good early game as already. And only that single mistake of giving away too many footies. But it wasn't too bad there. Cool, so now we're at the 1-1 scoreline. It's nice and even. And we go to a best of 3.
Oh, I haven't heard that in a while. It's absolutely correct. And we go on to Foggy's map number 1. That should be Conceal or Northern Isles?
Northern Isles.
Northern Isles it is. And the game is already up. Rekram, our admin, doing a wonderful job here so far.
This one should be much better, but much easier to make a Warden work. At the very least, to get her to level 3 easier. But I've seen HaWK with his own interesting creep routes, with heavy militia usage, with fast level 3s, with fast pushes. So this is going to be very interesting once again. On Echo Isles, it looked like HaWK had the perfect strat, the perfect counterplay. Map 1 was more like Foggy on the trigger, HaWK reacting, and I thought he reacted very well for a long time, until then overextending into the main. So far, it looks like these two are absolutely playing on eye level.
It's true.
HaWK joins the lobby requesting a second. We can give him a second.
Yeah, Side mentioned before that he was stuck in a meeting and he might be a little late. And HaWK's response was, "Don't worry, I play a lot of tanks to buy you some time." It's quite funny. Yeah, feels like feels like the players are becoming more and more friends as well. Like the atmosphere in pretty much every single lobby is really nice, and in every single Discord.
Of course, they keep on meeting each other as well here in the HeroesHearth Invitational, but also in other weekly cups. We recently had DreamHack, where Side was not, but HaWK and Foggy were. Foggy there was more victorious in the end, made it to the top 4, HaWK to the top 8.
Yeah, I mean,
But with that,
HaWK had
both
to
came
play happy in the top 8. There's no shame in that. But I mean, if he wins Moon before he dodges happy. So yeah. His own fault.
So here we are. Players are ready. We're loading into map 3, Northern Isles. A map that even on Reforged is still beautiful.
And there's penguins, Remo. That's the best thing about that map.
We're still not sure exactly how many, but there are some.
So HaWK spawning in the bottom left, Foggy in the bottom right. Let's go on to map number 3 as we have a tied up series. That's what we were hoping for, a long worn out series between two of the best players that the old continent has to offer.
The old continent. Is that what people say?
The Americans say that about us, don't they?
Really?
Yeah.
But I mean, you're the history guy, so I'm going to trust you.
We had a little talk about Mr. Albert Einstein today in our Discord. You know, we're a very eloquent community project.
Of course. We have a educational obligation to teach our already brilliant viewership, of course, even more. So, what are we going to have here? We're going to start off with an Ancient of War creep at the Tuskar camp. Something that is slightly greedy, I suppose. But a human really can't punish this, unless human wants to go aggressive with level 1. But that is very, very, very unlikely. It's the Warden first being chosen here, no surprise. HaWK going for the AM. That's also to be expected. Humans, whenever they can, they want to go MK first. But this map, creeps are a little bit too hard. They hurt a little bit too much. And you don't get Merc Camp access either, which is also a big problem. So then you rather go with AM first. Question is this going to be a fast expansion or not? I think recently we've seen mostly instant expos here, but I've also seen HaWK going from Tuskar camp to lab creep really quick with lots of militia for a fast level 3 and a strong push on tier 1.
That's a HaWK special. No one else but him does it. And if the Warden is still busy, or if the Warden doesn't expect this and just walks somewhere else, then this is a really, really, really fast way towards level 3 for this Archmage.
Yeah, an instant expansion is already out the window. Seems like HaWK is going for a special creep route. I was about to say, not tanking damage with the Water Elemental, but it is tanking most of the damage, I guess, with the Water Elemental. This first Tuskar camp has quite a bit of DPS, which is why also Foggy is needing a Wisp for repair. Find the big invul pot. That's pretty good, but it's not the big mana, so it's not what you were hoping for. But he's level 2 right away, which is certainly nice for both heroes, pretty much at the same time.
By the way, since we saw an Ogre Mage at this camp, is there a list of priorities what you take out first at a camp? If there's a Shadow Priest, an Ogre Magi, some units that just deal damage?
Depends on the situation. If you fear your opponent is close by and might be coming for a Jack, it's always the big item carrying creep you're going for first. Other than that, normally you want to take out the enemy that either, or the creep that does the most damage, or the one that's easiest to kill. Which is why, for example, humans with the militia go for the Tuskar, the ranged guy, I think, who has medium armor. As you can see here also, the Tuskar sorcerers it is. They have medium armor, can be taken out quickly. Oh, but Foggy read this. He has seen this creep route before, looking to punish. Can't get the 2 level 5 guys, but perhaps level 6 Furbolg Tracker he can still go for. And this is HaWK's creep route slowed down and level 3 delayed for quite a while.
Yeah, that's the downside of this creep route. We had we talked about why this can be good, but if you expect this and you're there, then all of a sudden it doesn't look too good anymore. And this is exactly what we see here. One Archer would be enough, even one Wisp would be enough, so it's not that it's impossible for HaWK to reach this now, but he would love to have level 3, obviously.
This is a really cool play, by the way, by Foggy. Like, normally, every Warden player is always concerned with level 3, so just creep, level 3. Almost, you know, too one-dimensionally she's played, but no, Foggy is playing exactly around HaWK. His early game build is designed around getting the level 3. So Foggy says, okay, I'm going to sacrifice my own level 3, but I'm going to slow down yours as well, and he deems it to be the better choice, and I believe he's correct in doing so. He steals one more last hit here and keeps on denying level 3 here for the AM.
Wow. Again, with a right click. Not with fan, just with his normal attack. That was pretty good in general. Both players stepping it up here and the Warden creeping up further. One of Illusion. Nice for scouting. He has a Wisp there already, so if HaWK is going for a tier 2 expansion, as he's almost done with the tech, Foggy will know. But finally, there's no way around level 3 anymore. A set of Watcher Wards will help see the Warden coming, or whatever Foggy is going for. Checks again. Is that lab free? Still occupied.
He could creep it with the Wand of Illusions, but doesn't want to do that. Instead, we'll see the AM in the middle. And the Warden finds a bit more experience, gets the Murloc, gets the Water Elemental. Oh my god, dude, the movement by Foggy is insane. And with that, he gets level 3. He is playing an insanely good early game.
He gets level 3 at 5 minutes 30 without a second Engine of War or the shop creep that we usually see in the north. That saved him a lot of resources and grants him a fast tech. Just because of his movement.
And he's using barely any spells so far this game. The Moon Juice is looking really good. Normally Foggy is the guy who blasts through his mana pool, sometimes quite recklessly. But this time he's being very conserving of that.
He has 1,000 mana in the Moonwells.
A town is under siege.
That's pretty sick.
One Ancient of Lore seems like we'll be getting... Oh my god. Even an Archer wall against the AM so he can't get in.
Wow.
Oh, but guess what? HaWK spawns in a Water Elemental. These two are playing so well against each other right now.
There was even a detonate. So there was like... Archer wall was the first obstacle. Then he dropped the Water Elemental behind it. Then the Wisp came in to detonate one, but it was still enough. And Foggy loses one Engine of Lore being slowed down.
Oh, but now the Warden committing deep with her mana pool finally into the main. Has the Staff of Teleportation. She's going to have one more Fan of Knives. How many kills can she find with this? HaWK is trying to soak up the fan with the units, not with the peasants. Dude, this could very well be TH versus Moon right here.
All the tricks. It just took 12 weeks of Rising Star Cup to make them try hard enough. And if she Fan of Knives, there's the Stormbolt ready.
I think he's waiting for the mana to... Oh, didn't even... I thought he was going to wait for a Blink plus Fan. But too dangerous with the MK around, I guess. Just blinks out. And the AM? Might he be in trouble? Shouldn't be. He's got the boots. He's fine.
Loliot, by the way, told us that Fan of Knives is a pretty bad spell, and he hates it. And we saw it. Why? Like, you can't choose your targets if your opponent plays around it. And it all gets soaked up by the, in quotes, wrong units.
Foggy went for a Shredder here as well as a Zeppelin, so that's a heavy commitment into not exactly fighting units. Lots of gold. So now it's up to the Warden and Drop Harass to buy time for the tier 3 to come in. HaWK this time with an even earlier workshop, even before the first Zeppelin drop is coming in. And I like that.
Yeah, feels like HaWK is also like ready. He positions himself in a way that the priests are healing everything up in case there's a fan. The Archmage can attack the Zeppelin. And so Foggy is not going for it.
And this is really cool. The AM is protecting in the main with one priest. He's level 3 already. He knows there's a Zeppelin here somewhere, and he's waiting for the gyro to come out. And during that time, the AM is protecting. In the meantime, MK is creeping in the middle, solo creeping, getting close to level 3 already. And I'm afraid is once again not going into clap.
No. Stormbolt and Bash it is once again. Oh, Warden, can she steal this? No, Arc of Reincarnation. Would be 2 kills pretty much on the silver pattern here, but scary to drop against 2 riflemen. It's not doing that. That's level 3 for the MK.
And that was super fast. Warden comes in now and is looking for quite a few kills. Has the Orb of Venom. There's going to be at least 2 footies dying, yes. But it's Footman. It's like not the end of the world. Alright, got 2 kills. Good for her, I guess. But out of mana now as well. And in a bit of trouble. Doesn't have mana for the blink. The footy block, how good is it? And the bash as well. Perhaps it was the bash forcing the TP here. And of course, I don't think bash is bad by any means. But you know, clap level 2 against bears is pretty good as well. And we are moving into bears. We have the first one out already. And more to come. But the Warden, she needs a bit more experience. Yeah. Well, to be honest, she needs a lot more experience.
Needs to go for the lab. The other camps are pretty much all gone. Like, of course, you can go for the Arachnithids and his expansion is also up, but you don't want to let this human unfold into the dangerous 70 supply army. But HaWK is not making the move to break upkeep. He's expanding on tier 2.
This. I absolutely love this. Play stable on 1 base, get to 50 supply, get to 3 levels, then you're strong, and use that strength. Not to push, because then you can be running into the danger of, you know, throwing the game away, but use that strength to back it up with a 2nd base. Stabilize on 2 bases, get a big army, and sometime tech to 30 supply, to tier 3, I mean, and make use of that super strong late game human.
Stormbolt kills the first big air. Okay, has to use 2 Stormbolts, so it wasn't that cheap. Invo Potion Fan of Knives, right clicks, that's the Warden game. Only 1 more though. Another kill. Oh, that's getting expensive here.
Still enough money though for the power build, so that's the most important thing, I think. But yeah, this is a lot of peasant losses. In the meantime, HaWK pushing towards the main. Wanting to force the Warden back here, of course.
She's
man.
dying. No.
A town is under
He can't staff out. Is it damage and...
Yeah.
Alright. Mountain King has also no mana anymore. Illusion Bears to block.
HaWK has pretty low supply right now. I don't know if it's the best idea to keep on pressuring here. Also, MK mana really low. Once again, this push into the main, I don't know if that is the right call. I would have preferred to see HaWK go for a telestaff, keep on creeping the map. And if the Warden goes into one of your bases, staff there, Stormbolt her, and try to minimize the damage that way. But at least, you know, at least with this push, the Warden was forced back. And HaWK, yeah, he lost a lot of peasants, but he is still on 2 mining bases.
But there's also 2 points of attack now. Foggy a little too late with that blink, but gets level 5 with the creep in the north. 2 points of attack means he can go into the main base, wreck peasants there, then can fly over or staff over or whatever to the expansion and cause more trouble there. That will require a lot of mana.
A player's forces are under attack.
Anti-magic to not get the mana burn. Blink, fan, kills. Level 5 is so wonderful to have.
And against these run-bys, HaWK is doing very little. He's pushing into the main, but that's like a very simple kind of smork attempt. He could be going for Zeppelin, he could be going for Shredder, he could be going for Telestaff to deal with this split push. But he's not doing any of that. He's just pressuring into the main. And doing so not even with a very big army. 4 rifles, 3 priests, that's it, along with 1 sorceress.
Yeah, it definitely feels like HaWK is a little limited in this. His main is wiped out. But not only are there 2 points of attack, but there's only double income. So it's still pretty much the same backup income. But Bears will wreck this army. Not enough priests, not enough sorks, not enough damage. HaWK only now breaking upkeep. Taught a little tilted from that 51 supply.
And the Warden is getting very close to 6. And this is a tier 2 human army, not a tier 3 human army. Why? Because so many peasants were lost, and now lumber is low. I think HaWK needed to go for either a Zeppelin or a staff earlier to deal with this Warden, but it's definitely a Shredder. And guess what? Here she is again. Into the expansion, and this is what you can do so easily with level 5. And of course, it's hard to deal with this. I don't want to say it's easy to deal with this, but HaWK is making no attempts to deal with this at all.
So many kills, so many corpses, so much experience. He needs to find a way to break this Warden play. Mortar teams coming now. Okay. Interesting. For more siege, of course. But Foggy seems so safe. Foggy has his army in the main. That's there to defend. And the Warden does all the necessary damage.
Bears and archers. We don't have marksmanship, by the way, because the Ancient of War was lost. The Warden is certainly doing lots of DPS. And one more kill on the Watch Elemental will be level 6. And there it is. And now HaWK has to get the hell out of here.
Avatar of Vengeance just needs a little bit more mana. Oh no, there it is already. Summons the Spirit. Mountain King on the back. He'll have to run away very soon as the Warden comes in. Right click, heal scroll. Okay, but for how much longer? That's it. MK bites the dust once more, just like it was in Amazonia. Mortar teams completely out of position. There was an Ankh, and now MK level 4, but will this just happen again?
DP back now from HaWK after having lost at least one more mortar team. Oh, that one makes it out. 58 supply for the human. Foggy lost a lot, to be honest. Did he lose 4 bears? He lost at least 3,
wow.
So lost a lot more there than I was expecting. In the meantime, HaWK recovered somewhat in the economy, but especially lumber. Big problem. He can't go to tier 3. He doesn't have the lumber required. Not buying a shredder, costing him more and more over time.
Yeah, HaWK has the XP lead now after this kill, despite there being a level 6 Warden. But you know what? There's more harass going on, and that's more experience. And that's gonna be an even better blink soon. Can't do anything against the spirits, except wait. Oh, there's only one though.
One spirit not too scary, and if the Avatar of Vengeance is in range of the rifles, it will die quickly. But Avatar distracts at the main, at the expo, and Warden blinks once again into the main.
We get a Mountain Giant transition by Foggy.
This is of course extremely annoying for the human. No Magic Sentry yet, another upgrade that you really need to get sooner or later. Oh, when the next fan comes in. Ouch.
There's more. There's just more.
6.5.
Yep. At least he has Gyro out now to detect the Warden if Shadow melted.
Oh, Priest coming over towards the expansion, trying to heal quickly, but the Warden so
Triple
mobile.
Kill. Yeah. Foggy plays her extremely well though.
Too bad for him that Found Nice is such a weak spell. Just kidding. So, well, we're gonna see this over and over. Warden blinking across the map. And yes, that's very hard to deal with, as I said multiple times. But it's not impossible. Zeppelins are an answer. Staffs are perhaps an answer. And now, Avatar Vengeance completely destroyed the main base's income. The duration's gonna run out soon, but then it can just be resummoned again right away. But now, HaWK has had enough. He's pushing into the base with a big army here. 60 supply for him. But only a single heal scroll.
And there's 2 MK Mountain Giants with Taunt. That's a lot of distraction. The bear taken out immediately to the Dryads and Mortars. Oh, but the Warden finds the backline, and that hurts so much. We even have a mana potion. Heal scroll, how much more do we have? Nothing on the Mountain King, nothing on the MK. How do you deal with that Fan of Knives?
Yeah, the heal scroll gone already. That's a big problem. The Warden, I guess, she's the one to be pressured here. HaWK is trying with a counter pressure on that hero, forcing a kill or at least threatening it. Mountain Giants, of course, have to be ignored. But that's why he has the mortar teams. They can shoot behind that front line. Oh, and the Warden now eats a Stormbolt, dropping low, getting bashed as well. Has to blink back to the main. In trouble still. Uh-oh. If she gets bashed, she dies. No way. Oh my god.
There was bash.
Oh my god.
But the reaction was too fast. I think HaWK didn't, recognize that there's a bash. And didn't follow this up. There was definitely potential for a kill.
Player's forces
down to 55 now.
I think the Avatar of Vengeance was killed, right? Never mind. It's at the expansion. Was sent down south to the natural, once again killing peasants over there. HaWK has to get a new heal scroll. There is one in the shop. Would love an invul as well.
A town is
The
under
similarity of Echo Isles and Northern Isles shop control is very important. Uses the anti-magic to be safe from the storm bolts. Mountain King is living a dangerous life but has 2 parry up to vitality. Did he buy one? That would be kind of weird.
I'm not sure. Should really give over the ring to the MK though. Yeah. Instead of the flute.
Forces are under attack.
But there's so much stuff happening, it's hard to keep track of everything. The Warden once again eats the Stormbolt. Moon Juice is extremely low. Extremely low.
And it's daytime. Could use a Moonstone. 3 mortars again. How to burn through these 2 Mountain Giants. Stormbolts only end up on the Warden. One after the next. There's a heal potion and an anti-magic now.
HaWK falling back, more water elementals getting dispelled. Avatar Vengeance still disrupting mining at the second base. Warden almost level 8. Now she's getting Stormbolted, now she's getting focused, but the MG's baiting a little bit of fire on themselves as well. And the Mountain King needs to be so careful towards the back line. Can he be healed up enough? One more fan would be his end. Oh my god, this Mountain King. Priests need to do their job.
Got baited into range of the Mountain Giant, by the way, by Taunt, but quickly reacting against it. Still a supply lead for the human, but how long? Bash again. He can't heal these MG.
Oh, the archers! What are they doing?
Exposing
way
themselves.
Too far forward. Oh my god, the Expo was killed by the Avatar Vengeance.
What? The main is about to die. Or dry out, at least.
And here comes the Avatar again.
Oh, but the production buildings. These mortar volleys, so good.
Warden blinks into the range of the MK, but HaWK has had enough. He's gonna TP out of this before losing too much. Foggy holds on.
Can HaWK expand again? He's 500 gold. Not too much lumber. But Foggy is down to 1 lore. This Mountain Giant, you can pretty much forget about it. 3 archers, extremely hurt. Moon Juice, pretty much not existed. Level 5 Archmage, by the way. Not level 3 Aura, which surprises me.
I mean, the water elementals are pretty good, and the Dryads so can't be relied upon anymore with all these mortars and all these rifles. No, speaking of mortar teams, though, getting greeted by the Avatar Vengeance.
Oh, should be fine.
Main base for Foggy about to dry up. 500 gold only left in the main. For HaWK, we have plenty more.
Yeah, because of all this harass. But the good thing about the main of Foggy is it can walk. But the bad thing is it can be sniped. So, interesting late game here.
Spirits are running out. No more new corpses.
Just wait a second until...
Oh,
the
getting
shop.
The shop would be big.
Foggy queues 1 last Mountain Giant.
A player's forces are under attack.
Oh, Stormbolt against the Bears.
Mortar team's a little out of position.
Damage.
Taunt again. The one blinks into the big damage dealers. Taunt again. Heal scroll used. That was a little too early and maybe a little bit unnecessary. Taunt again. Now back to safety. Oh, well, safety. Back into the range of the Avatar.
Oh, these casters and mortars completely exposed. I know where the Warden wants to go to next. HaWK would love another heal scroll, but he doesn't have one. This could be plenty more kills here for Foggy, but he's losing a lot of the army himself. The archer's now very far forward. That fan hits big. Both players suffering heavy losses, especially HaWK dropping down super low in supply.
I feel like he has to get rid of the Avatar, otherwise the spirits are too strong. Oh no, this is so many corpses. And HaWK can't really kite back because there's constant taunts.
Yeah. And now all these units are damaged. The Warden, she has 1 more blink fan. And boom! And that's a triple kill. 27 supply left for HaWK.
Level 9. Foggy is not mining anymore. But his units are still quite healthy.
Dude, how crazy is Avatar of Vengeance?
It's a very good ultimate. It is, if played well, a very, very good ultimate. 1,000 gold left for HaWK. What can he do?
What an ability.
Like, seriously, what can you do?
I think
A player's forces are
not much anymore, to be honest. I think HaWK's mistake was pushing into the main. Not taking tier 3, not getting Zeppelins, not getting more towers, not getting Arcane Sentry, not getting a Shredder. I think that's what lost him the game.
is under siege.
Not the fights.
Level 9 Warden in the base again. He's not even giving him this 1k gold. Big blue Congo line in the middle. 3 MGs.
A player's forces
HaWK
are
knows
under attack.
this. He also knows that the tree is on the way. Level 5
Level
MK.
5. Okay. I mean, if you can kill the Warden, all bets are off. But I think that's his only chance.
I mean, there's no item at the moment on Foggy's side.
Oh, the bear.
That's a freebie.
Expensive loss.
A town
But only
is under
one
siege.
mortar team. Can you siege this Tree of Eternity? No, you can't, because Foggy is engaging.
Under attack.
In comes the Warden, the superhero on level 9. Can't you get to level 10 this game? It's actually possible. We haven't seen this in forever. Full mana for the Warden, pretty much. Ready for the blink. Or is she respecting the MK too much? No, she's not. Eats the Stormbolt right away. But he's got more than 1,000 HP now in this super late game. Oh, and now HaWK has to run. The next blink fan is gonna hurt. Oh my god. And now she's next to the Moonwells.
Yeah. This is more of everything. More spirits, more fan, more kills, more experience. Everything's so bruised up. HaWK is just desperate at this point. Dropping the pendant before using the moon juice.
Come on.
Foggy
Level 10.
is
Level 10.
very, very sure that he wins this game. This is the
one
Warden
more
show.
kill.
That's the 2-1 for Foggy. Insane. Insane how he played this home.
5,312 experience for the Warden. She was 2 kills away from level 10. Man. Great game. But HaWK, he lost that game himself, I think. Just not dealing with these run-bys.
Again.
Pretty unimaginative. He was just trying to force the issue with pushing across the map. But we have seen this getting dealt with much better in the past.
It was a little bit the case in Amazonia as well, where Foggy distracted so nicely. Here too. Staff, blink, everything. Yeah, and HaWK, no solution. Despite this early workshop, it didn't work out. Just didn't work out.
Yeah, I think the early workshop was smart, and then backing up the 50 supply strength with an expansion was smart, but then you need to go further. You need to have more towers and Arcane Sentry, or what's it called? Magic Sentry. Yeah. So the Warden can't just do this unpunished. Yes, she's still going to blink in, and yes, she's still going to find kills, but you need to play around it. Get the towers, get the Shredder, so you always have lumber. The Shredder, she can't really kill, because he's magic immune, at least against her spells. And if you want to go super safe, you can even go 1 or 2 Zeppelins at your bases to load up the peasants once she blinks in. That, of course, is very expensive if you want to go for all of that, but at least some of it, some kind of Warden defense. But there was, like, nothing.
But until the Warden got really big, HaWK played so good. And Foggy played so good. If this is the level that we can expect from European Warcraft in 2020... yeah. We're in for such a treat.
And whoever wins this best of 5, I would not be surprised to see these meet 2 again in the grand final.
Ooh, don't underestimate Cash. He's been playing great as well. Like, if he plays human against Foggy, he's Foggy's coach. He knows him inside out. He might have solutions.
I don't think so. Foggy's playing the Warden too well. I don't think Cash can simply push him with, I don't know, 655 supply and then win the game right there. I think Foggy has become too good in this matchup finally. He was struggling a long time, but he's looking really good now.
We'll see, man. Maybe down the road of this bracket, we will see in this wonderful Heroes Hearth Invitational, sponsored by Heroes Hearth. You should all follow them and visit them at HeroesHearth.com and of course on Twitter at HeroesHearth WC3. The winner of this tournament gets $500, the runner-up $300, and whoever wins this series is already in the top 4, and that means $200. Yesterday we sent Neutron and Insuperable home with 100, and later we have Cash, Side, Spiral, and Hitman fighting for all this prize money. Lobby is up. Terrana Stand LV is the next map. We have a couple of supporters coming in here as well. Thank you, Sataria, Sele, Matikism, Pimps, Cracky Soul, and TH213 for your subs, and Sean Wright for the 100 bits. Not getting a shredder, that isn't a line you hear from Remo too often.
It's true. I think most of the time shredder is a bad idea. But here, it would have been a good idea.
Sean knows you inside out. Watching too many casts. There's nothing. Yeah, there's no thing like too many back to Warcraft casts.
There's no such thing. Yeah, what are you talking about?
No such thing at all. But there's such a thing as Game 4 between HaWK and Foggy. The Ukrainian taking the lead. It feels like oftentimes he is that one tiny step ahead. And he's certainly on a roll after throwing down Happy yesterday in the GGG's Cup. His streak seems to continue. And we load into Terrana Stand.
This is going to be very interesting now here between the two. We saw HaWK's possibly strongest weapon, the MK, be played so well on Echo Isles. The Warden there for Foggy didn't come off the ground quickly enough, did not get level 5, did not get level 6. But that map arguably can be a good MK map and a bad Warden map. But now, we're on Terrana Stand. This is a great MK map. This is a great Warden map. And this is going to be a treat to see. It could be one of the two going for a mind game. And that would be Foggy, I guess, going for a Demon Hunter first. But I think he's not about that life at the moment. I think he's all aboard the Warden train. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Warden versus MK here. And a nice long 2-base game, perhaps.
Ooh, that would be lovely. There must be a reason why HaWK picks this. Maybe he feels just so confident with the Mountain King. And as you said, Echo Isles was an indicator. Here we have the MK, but Foggy, is he countering this? No. Warden all the way.
Yeah, it's not like the Warden does particularly bad against an MK. It's just that the Demon Hunter is the super hard counter. But he's pretty one-dimensional. He's standing in your army. He's a frontline tank who keeps on burning the MK. That's what he does. That's it.
What more do you need?
She can do so many things. She can harass the economy over and over. She's blinking around. She's super mobile. She can look for last hit steals in the early. She can completely tear the positioning for your opponent apart in the late game. And of course, she has an ultimate, which is, well, let's be honest, pretty damn broken. So,
but the Demon Hunter has a nice area of effect spell as well in Immolation. Also a very good ultimate.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah. Immolation. No. But yeah, the ultimate for him isn't bad. But the ultimate of his has like, what, 25% uptime? The Avatar of Vengeance has 100% uptime. Which I'm still amazed that made it to final release. But, you know, it is how it is. The Warden looking for the quad last hit. Almost gets it. Looks nice. Oh, and the big mana potion.
That he leaves on the ground, almost. Shadow Priest for Foggy as well. For the Mountain King. We have a big potion too. So, Fan of Knives versus Stormbolt in masses.
Second and Ancient of War coming up for Foggy already. We've been seeing this more and more over at the Renegade camp. I think this soon will be getting reacted to. Really like the footy scout in the main as well. Sees Foggy is not teching. Uh-oh. That's looking a little dangerous. If he sees a Hunter's Hall as well before the tech, he will know what is going to be happening.
But there's no Hunter's Hall.
Yep, so not looking like an Ancient of War, Hunter's all in, but rather just 2 Ancient of War for creeping. And I'm expecting the tech to start soon for Foggy, making a few more wisps. Getting a bit more creeping down on the Warden. She found double ring and gauntlets, so she's pretty tanky, I guess. And here comes the tech now for Foggy. I like this a lot. Double Ancient of War, Huntress all in. Yes, it can work, but it's not that likely against a super good human. And of course, it's ultra all in. Foggy is feeling comfortable enough in this matchup nowadays to not go all in anymore, but to just take it to the late and rely on a super strong Warden in the late game.
Alright, interesting to see the Engine of War here at the Renegade, which should be easy to creep and also gives you another big consumable, if that's a big mana. Oh, let it rain the fan. But that also means that Foggy was never close to his shop, so he didn't get a staff. And he's not punishing this expansion. Neither is he at the lab, where he could pretty fast move towards this position.
Can't he just destroy, like, either Expo or main peasants? Even if the MK comes in to defend, he's got the big invul. Oh boy. And here we go. Oh my god. Dodges the Stormbolt. Yep.
A town is under siege.
Oh, peasant actually is protected back there. That's crazy.
Aye, but these three aren't!
Yep. And now he can go for a Telestaff if he wants, and go into the main as well. The main tower was cancelled by the piercing damage units. Oh my god.
Blink, fan, right click, GG, HaWK, lower bracket, Foggy, winner bracket final. A Warden with the mana potion is super sick, and that item is definitely broken, but Foggy played it perfectly with what he had.
Yeah, and this is an insane opening nowadays by Night Elf. This second Ancient of War makes so much sense.
Getting that second consumable, whatever it is, it's oftentimes something good.
And big invul and big mana is actually the best you can get.
Pretty much.
If you want to be aggressive right there. I don't think there's any beating that, actually.
Hey, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to react? Foggy with a 2-pronged attack as well, while the Warden was distracting, going with the piercing damage onto that tower, making sure that there's no arcane up.
Oh, how much is Todd enjoying this game, by the way?
I hope
he's over in Katowice, rubbing his hands, being like,
Town Hall next week.
I've been telling you.
I hope he was casting that game and is not watching. That was pretty insane. Alright, with that, we have the first out of 4 games concluded here today. That means Foggy in the winner bracket final, HaWK down to the lower bracket round 2, where he will meet Hitman, who received a def win over Neutron yesterday. Now we will conclude Foggy's opponent and Spiral's opponent. It's time for Cash versus Side after a little break.